It was one of those nights, divers, when perfectly rational men and women just tore straight through all the guardrails of adulting and went full chicken dance. Welcome to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and who wants to check out the DSS? Well, it's there, but what's next? We've also got a lightning round of community items and a bit of a funny one from one of the gaming sites, which I'm going to try to let you catch the mistake. Now, as always, thanks for sticking around and supporting the channel. In case you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. It's free, and it really helps promote the channel to the far reaches of YouTube. And while you're at it, make sure to ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. And that's a really important one on that last point. I'm receiving messages from longtime subscribers saying that there is some funny business going on where they are no longer receiving those alerts. So double check that the alerts are active. And with that, let's get stuck into all the latest from Helldivers. All right, we've got two very good armor sets on sale right now over in the Superstore. Starting off with the CM10 medium armor with medkit for +2 stems and 2 seconds more duration, which, by the way, also works with the stem pistol. You've also got the CM10 helmet, the Ravager helmet, and one of my personal favorite armor sets to use, the FS37 Ravager lightweight body armor with engineering kit for reduced recoil and +2 throwables, like those newly buffed portable nukes known as thermite grenades. Now, as always, expect to spend super creds in the Superstore. We've also got huge news out there, Helldivers, as last night we finished up the major order and we now have our very own floating DSS.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Or, as some of you call it, the Death Star, orbiting around Gaellivare. Now, you can see this thing from multiple vantage points. First thing, when you fire up that initial FTL jump to the system. Also, you can see it through the front glass of the bridge of your Super Destroyer, or, this is kind of a missed addition, you can see it on the surveillance cam shot on the terminals directly across from your armory. Although, it would have been 10 times more immersive to have a dynamic shot here instead of a static pick. Seeing supply ships coming and going along with the lighting changes would have kicked ass, but maybe there was an issue with resources or, something like that. Maybe Arrowhead didn't have enough time to add that feature in, but there it is. You now have your very own Death Star, still in its infancy. Also, really cool piece of side content here. Johan posted this one to Twitter, and apparently we liberated his hometown of Gaellivare. Yeah, it's really a place, which is right here on the Swedish map. It's just one of those little pieces of in-game lore translating to real world that makes Helldivers that little extra special. So what's next? Well, we've also had some direction from Helldivers HQ to go along with this one, and it says, the Helldivers have managed to wrench Gaellivare from the automaton's clutches, securing an ideal construction site for the Democracy space station. A DSS logistics hub has been set up nearby. To build a weapon of mass liberation, I would argue mass destruction of this size, we will need to make significant advancements in 3 key areas: zero-G material science, FTL propulsion, and gigastructure staffing. The Helldivers will be indispensable in achieving these breakthroughs. Helldivers are advised that failing any DSS-related order will cause delays in construction. A project of this scale cannot be concealed indefinitely. If construction drags out too long, our enemies will eventually discover its location and attempt to destroy it. However, our citizens need not fear. With the Helldivers protecting it, the Democracy space station will soon be ready to rain down the will of the people on any who would stand in its way. Okay, so what does all this mean? Well, I'd expect a series of major orders to supply and protect our space stations. Some offensive for supplies, others defensive as the bots try to push us out of their territory, but it's definitely cool to see something this substantial added into the game. And the last time we did something like this is when we turned Meridia into a black hole or a wormhole, whatever we're calling it. Helldivers, the game, works best when it has 3 major components working in harmony. Number 1 is the gameplay loop, blowing S up, having a blast with the crew, that sort of thing, which for months had been getting worse. but with the Buff Divers update, has made a return to form. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's miles better than it was. The number 2 piece are major set piece items like these. A space station, nuking an entire planet, or even remember when the bots made that crazy push onto the map out of nowhere. They just came in like gangbusters. And number 3, we need these in the game, are these shadow drops. Shriekers first showing up and then being denied by Johan on Twitter and even the propaganda broadcast. Or when we first ran into the factory striders and everyone was just screaming their heads off on their mics. I mean, no mention of them from the development team, no mention of them in the patch notes. They just show up and it's like, hello, we're living out our Star Wars fantasies here versus the Empire on Hoth. I'd argue we've got the fun factor back. We also now have the major set piece moment here with the DSS and future plans to develop that. And if Arrowhead can get number 3 back into the fold, I don't know, maybe shadow drop the Illuminate, maybe another enemy type we've never ever seen, something wild and unexpected like that with no warning, that's when Helldivers is going to see some really healthy growth and player counts that will stick around for the awesome and well-rounded gaming experience. Right now, we're seeing approximately 43,000 player counts on Steam alone, and when I was in the game a few minutes ago, the Galactic map set around 65,000 total, including PlayStation. And keep in mind, this is approximately 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning where most of the US market is either sleeping or just about to get their first cup of coffee, so these numbers will definitely go up. We've also got some other great games out there competing for players' time, like Space Marine 2, like Once Human, which I reviewed when it was back in open beta and had a lot of fun with it. You've even got Black Myth Wukong that's out there and just smashing it, and I'm sure there are plenty of others I'm leaving off the list. I guess my point here is that seeing Helldivers return from 5,000 concurrent Steam player counts to this point is simply amazing. And Arrowhead has once again seen the blueprint to keep players diving and engaged. It's time to make a quick round through the sites in the official Discord server, and fellow Helldiver content creator Cloud Plays got a public response from Twinbeard over in the Discord when he asked about the 60-day plan and essentially what we could expect and when. Now, it was a somewhat diplomatic and watered-down reply, as I'm sure Twinbeard can't tell us much of what the team is actually working on this far in advance, but the 60-day plan is set to end in about 2 weeks' time. Now, Twinbeard reinforced the fact that the majority of players are liking the first part of the team's implementation plan, which happened to be the Buff Diver update, and that another part of the team has already started advanced work on content production, as well as how we should expect more changes to show up in a not-so-distant update. I'd love to get some feedback from you, my viewers, on what's working best for you in the recent Buff Diver update. Also, what needs more attention. That sort of thing. Sound off and drop me a comment, as I'd love to get a community discussion going on this one. I get the feeling Arrowhead does read these YouTube comment sections, and anything constructive you post might actually help out the game. VG247 seems to have been prowling through the ComDev responses from the official Discord server when they posted this article. It says, "It feels as if we fought our way back. With Helldiver 2's recent updates having turned around player sentiment, the mood at Arrowhead is, quote, much, much better. We're on a better path now in a lot of ways long term." Now, there's responses that are quoted here from Johan in a previous article, and more recently, again, Twinbeard, when he discussed Arrowhead's mindset with the recent update and moving forwards towards even more growth. Not a whole lot of anything new going on here, but the more Helldivers stays relevant on these gaming sites, the better or worse it's doing. I mean, it's funny how you only make news when you're either crushing it or being crushed. In today's section titled, "Whoops, maybe the AI engine was a little bit tipsy," we now turn to Fandom Wire, and here comes the viewer quiz. Listen to this. Here's their headline. "I'm tired of everyone not agreeing the break-action shotgun is the best support weapon in Helldivers 2 bug missions. Thanks to the recent patch, the SG-225 Breaker Shotgun is once again the best weapon in Helldivers 2 for terminated missions." They go on to say, When Helldivers 2 was first released in February 2024, the SG-225 Breaker shotgun quickly became one of the most popular guns in the game. In fact, many players called it the best weapon in the game. Eventually, Arrowhead Game Studios decided to ruin the powerful shotgun by nerfing it, but thankfully, the weapon was buffed up recently. Using this weapon on semi-automatic will make it an absolute powerhouse that can shred through hordes of Terminids. Being a shotgun, this weapon is extremely powerful at close range and does fairly well at mid-range as well. It can be used against automatons as well, but is particularly effective against the bada. Now, I just kept reading through the article just in case you needed time to kind of sort out what had happened, and raise your hands if you already caught their whoopsie, unless you're driving or something like that, which in case, definitely keep both hands on the wheel. But did you catch it? Let me say it again. The break action shotgun is the best support weapon in the title, and then the entire article goes on to praise the breaker shotgun. Two completely separate weapons there. And like I said, it feels like the AI bot may have gotten a bit confused with just how similar those descriptions are. But anyways, I saw it, I found it funny, and I thought you, my fellow Helldivers viewers out there, would also get a laugh out of it. So there you go. And now it's time for your top 3 comments from my last Helldivers upload. And if you want to try to get your comment into my next breakdown, you first need to let it fly on this video. That's right. Take a few seconds and drop me a comment, and who knows, it might just get upvoted enough to hit the big time. Anyways, starting it off for this one in the number 1 spot is Skywolf7717. Oh my, check this one out. Catching Arrowhead with stealth nerfs is like catching your wife's hidden messages to other men when she promised she wouldn't cheat anymore. LOL. Wow. Yeah, I think we're just gonna move on to number 2. Coming to us from Guardian TKO 3220, they say, they need to stop doing stealth patches unless it's new enemy related, so it's a cool surprise. But stealth changes to things we already have sucks. So yeah, I do agree. I also think some people made a mountain out of a molehill with some of these changes that they forgot or maybe purposely left out of the patch notes. We were playing the game for days, maybe a week ahead of time, and everyone was praising how the Buff Diver update had changed the game. So yeah, besides that small change I think it was to the HMG, everything else was actually, I think, an unlisted buff. So I think overall we're eating pretty good after the Buff Diver update. And finally, your number 3 top comment comes to us from Comrade Sasha3734. They say, when will they ever learn their Discord, this is interesting, doesn't reflect the opinions of everyone? Very true. That's how we got in this mess to start with. That is an excellent point right there. And I firmly believe that they're sampling more than just their Discord server. They also look at Reddit. I've been whispered and told that they actually look at the YouTube comment sections as well. So a lot of different feedback coming in, and I can only imagine the overwhelming wealth and just the tidal wave of comments, opinions, suggestions the comms team must actually receive. So to parse through that all and actually find valuable information that they can use, I don't know. It seems like a really difficult job, but congrats on taking the number 3 spot, Comrade Sasha. And we're not quite done yet, and just so we leave with a huge smile on our Helldiver faces, this Reddit post is on fire right now with over 17,000 upvotes, which is insane. I don't think I've ever received 17,000 upvotes on all of my Reddit posts. Not that I post that much on Reddit, but this one just simply says, asking for a PvP mode, asking for a 6-player co-op mode to include more friends, which I think is an incredible suggestion. I don't know if the game engine can handle all of that or if it would just explode and turn to a puddle of mush, but this is an incredible idea. All right, hopefully everyone out there has a great day. On my side, it's time to get in some gaming, and as always, I look forward to any feedback you have about Helldivers or gaming in general, and I will, of course, do my best to respond. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Check the video description for not only my social links, including an open link to our Discord server, but also links to all of today's sources. But before we go, I wanted to again thank my incredible subscribers, now nearly 245,000 strong. That's insane to say. Your support is both appreciated and it strengthens me to return to the command center day after day and engage in the awesome craft known as content creation. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.